Hey everyone, I'm NornQueenAlexis and welcome back to the channel and welcome to this review series of the Adeptus Sororitas Codex, which at this point you're probably already sick of looking at. But since I'm a Sororitas player at heart, we are going to keep diving into this book. I want to thank Games Workshop for sponsoring this video and sending me all of the cool new Sisters of Battle, including the Paragon War suits, the new Val. I absolutely love this model. She looks so much better in person than I thought she would. And her spear is gigantic. Like, this is a Sister of Battle. This is a Palatine next to the spear itself. It's massive. I absolutely love it. It's also really cool because you can cut the hand out and put a different weapon there if you want to make your own custom character. But that's a whole nother story. Anyway, if you guys are new to the channel, please check out my Patreon. Patreon goes a long way to helping out the channel. Links are in the description down below. It has an exclusive series on it where we go over the older white dwarfs. And it's really cool. You also get a lot of behind the scenes. More videos will be up there very soon, but today we are diving into the Acts of Faith and some other things if we have time. So, Acts of Faith and how they work. Once per phase, one unit from your army with this ability can perform an act of faith. To do so, you will use miracle dice. Gaining miracle dice. If every unit in your army has the Adeptus Sororitas keyword or the Cult Imperialis Agents of the Imperium or Unaligned keyword, then, and this is cool because this means you can take an Inquisitor, you can actually take an Ambol, which is also really funny. Take an Ambot. They're unaligned beasts. And it's really funny that you can bring those in your Sororitas army and it doesn't take away from anything. But you do want to take an Inquisitor. Inquisitors are amazing, give you psychic defense, psychic powers, as well as a 9-up leadership bubble for 6 inches around them. As well as having a strength 6 AP minus 3 damage weapon and a melt-a-gun. Inquisitors are amazing. I should do an entire video on how to take them. Anyway, at the start of each battle round, you gain 1 miracle dice. At the end of a phase in which the following conditions were met, you gain 1 miracle dice. Okay. Vengeance. An Adeptus Sororitas unit from your army was destroyed. Destroys 1 or more enemy units. So if you kill something, you gain a miracle dice, which is a little bit different than last time. Sacrifice. Any Adeptus Sororitas character units from your army were destroyed. Note that the miracle dice it can also be granted via these rules. No matter the source, you can gain 1 miracle dice. Okay. Each time you gain a miracle dice, roll a d. Okay, so for this really quickly, you don't gain a miracle dice if your character comes back to life. So if you use Divine Intervention, which, if you use this stratagem, you don't count as being destroyed. So you don't gain the miracle dice. Which is also really cool because it means you don't get to kill the Warlord. Just saying, because the model is not dead. It's brought right back. So I do think that they need to FAQ that, just to clarify that just a little bit, because that's how I'm reading it. Each time you gain a miracle dice, roll 1d6. Wow, I'm so used to RPG books that I said 1d6 instead of d6. The number you roll is the value of the miracle dice. This value cannot be changed or re-rolled unless a rule specifically states otherwise. There is a stratagem for re-rolling them, there is a character for re-rolling them, and there's a few other conditions that can re-roll them or change the result. And this is your miracle dice pool. Designer note, put the pool over to the side. Typically I stick it on top of terrain with different colored dice. Okay. Performing an act of faith. Before making a dice roll for each model or unit from your army with the act of faith ability, you can have 1 or more dice in your miracle pool. Okay, hold up. I got this like way over to the side so the camera can see it, but I can't. So I'm just gonna pull it closer and like tilt it so I get the light out of it. Before making a dice roll for a model or a unit from your army with the active faith ability, you can have 1 or more dice in your miracle dice pool. That unit can... Okay, so if you have miracle dice, you can perform an act of faith. To do so, select 1 or more of the dice from your miracle dice pool instead of making any or all of these dice rolls For each individual dice that is being rolled as part of the dice roll, you can select one miracle dice from your miracle dice pool to be substituted in place of the dice roll of that dice. The dice that are not being substituted for are the dice that are being substituted for are not rolled. They just use the value. Okay. The dice instead of the value of this selected miracle dice, use that as if they have been rolled. Each miracle dice can only be selected for substitution once. Once all miracle dice substitutions have been made, remove the chosen miracle dice from your miracle dice pool and roll any remaining unsubstituted dice that are part of the dice roll. You can use miracle dice when a unit performs an act of faith for any of the following. No, wait, does this make it... This makes it sound like I can use... Like, I'm going to use an act of faith on this unit, and I'm going to put 2 hits with melt-a-guns in this unit. So I want to just clarify this really quickly. Before making a dice roll for a model or its unit from your army with this with the act of faith ability, if you have 1 or more dice in your miracle pool, 1 or more, I like that it says more, that unit can perform an act of faith. To do so, select 1 or more of those dice from the miracle dice pool instead of making any or all of those dice rolls. Any or all. Okay, I like that. For each individual dice that is being rolled as part of the miracle dice roll, you can select 1 miracle dice from your in place of 1 of the dice. Okay, so it does sound like I can just use an act of faith on a battle sister unit that has 2 melt-a-guns and a combi melta and take 3 miracle dice and hit with all of them. If I'm reading that correctly, if you have 6s, you can score automatic hits because other abilities trigger on dice rolls of 6s. So what you can substitute is advance rolls, charge rolls, hit rolls, wound rolls, saving throws, damage rolls, and morale tests. Now, I do want to clarify one thing really quickly. When you use it for a wound roll, it can be used to make a save on a wound roll that's hitting an invulnerable save. Okay? Just putting that out there. You can use it on a on an invulnerable save. One thing that is gone, you can't re-roll, You can't re-roll a Feel No Pain with it. So I think that's kind of cool, actually. A miracle dice is not a modifier or an inherent modified dice, which is ridiculous because that gets around all abilities. If you use a miracle dice when the value of a 1 for a miracle dice test, this is considered to be an unmodified roll of a 1. A miracle dice that has been used for a substitution can never be re-rolled. Ooh, that's a big change. That's a really big change. So if you use a miracle dice to automatically hit on a 3 and your opponent has a -1, so you'd be hitting on 4s, you can't re-roll it. That's actually big. That's a huge change. Okay. This means that if any re-rolls occur, the number of value of the miracle dice have already been substituted for the dice will remain the same for the re-roll. For example, if a single miracle dice is used for a substitute of 1 of the values of a charge roll, and the other charge roll was re-rolled, the only unsubstituted dice will be re-rolled. Okay, so if I choose a dice roll for a charge roll that's a 6, and then I roll the other one and I get like a 1, and I want to pay a command point to re-roll both of them, I only re-roll the unsubstituted one. So the miracle dice of 6 stays the same, which means that their charges just got a hell of a lot better. So that's actually insane. And then they give 2 examples, and somebody is messaging me on Discord. I apologize. So there are some significant changes to the Acts of Faith, and I do really like this because it makes them feel more powerful, in my opinion. Like a lot more powerful. Like, this is insane, especially once you consider that you can upgrade characters. Where is it? I think it's right before this. Or right after this. You can upgrade characters to also use miracle dice to gain abilities. This is honestly insane. you're going to want to try to farm as many miracle dice as possible, and potentially be using your miracle dice that you gain from that one stratagem, or the one warlord trait, to throw into your miracle range, and the others to throw into your miracle dice pool. Typically, games with Martyred Lady, they gain a ton of miracle dice, and in Magnifiers, or I gotta check if, not in Magnifiers, Simulacrum Imperialis are going to aid you in this. So, do we get a Simulacrum? Oh, they changed Battle Sisters. Oh, that's a significant change. Oh, they made their min squads 10. Oh, that sucks to gain all the other abilities. So you can't do 5 women squads with 2 Melta guns, Combi Melta. Oh, that is terrible. Okay, so I need to look up war gear really quickly to see if we can do this really. That's rules reference. Actually, rules reference might have it. Simulacrum Imperialis. No, it doesn't have it. Okay. Let's look at it. Ranged weapons. No, it wouldn't be a ranged weapon. It's not described here either. Did we lose the Simulacrum Imperialis? What the hell? Oh, there it is. Once per phase, the bearer can perform an act of faith, even if another unit from your army has already performed an act of faith during this phase. So yeah, you're gonna want these. God, Sister Squads being at 10 is going to severely nerf the Immolator, because I'm gonna need to bring rhinos now. Well, good thing I have like 8 rhinos. So overall, I think that's an okay change. And while we're here, we went over these in the last video. I'm sorry, I hit the stand. But let's just go over these really quickly. The Sacred Rites. Hand of the Emperor. When this Sacred Rite is active, add 1 to the advance and charge rolls for models in this unit. Made for this unit. Which is really cool because you can get these to affect the entire army. Let me just read these. This unit gains bonuses depending on which Sacred Rite is active for your army. After players have determined their mission, you must select 1 Sacred Rite from the following table to be active for your army. Alternatively, you can randomly determine 2 Sacred Rites, and you just roll them. And any duplicates you just reroll. Oh no, duplicates active Sacred Rites on this unit have no additional effects. Ugh. If doubles are rolled, both dice until 2 different results. Okay, so you do re-roll them. So you can accidentally use the same one twice if you use the Warlord ability or the stratagem or relic to give certain units active Sacred Rites that are different. But honestly, I would use them as globals because they're better as globals. Spirit of the Martyr. When this Sacred Rite is active, each time a model in this unit is destroyed by a melee attack and does not explode, roll a d6. On a 6, that unit, after... I just love the fact that sisters detonate themselves. It's just so funny. You poke them and they're just like, boom, and explode. Roll a d6. Okay, so I read that wrong. The unit has to have the ability to explode in order to explode. So it's essentially a reroll trying to get that 6. Because it has melee attacks and does not explode, roll a d6. So you can use this Sacred Rite on things like the Mortifiers, Rhinos, Immolators, Exorcists, the crazy new tank that name is escaping me right now. It's not just Sisters of Battle exploding like I thought it was, which would be hilarious and definitely something a sister would do. Number 3. So number 2 is kind of useless, I'm not going to lie. It's really good if you're bringing a bunch of Mortifiers, which, by the way, their squad is now 4 instead of 5. A weird difference. I don't know. I just noticed that the other day and it kind of bugged me. I usually take them in units of 3 anyway. Number 3. Use the Sacred Rite. When this Sacred Rite is active, each time this unit uses the Shield of Faith ability, to take a deny the witch test if the result of the test was an unmodified roll, a result of a 5+, or if it was greater than the result of the psychic test, that deny the witch test is passed. This one is the best one if your opponent has psychers. This is absolutely incredible. The fact that you can just 5-up negate an opponent's ability, and then if it doesn't work, you can spend 1 CP to roll it and try to get it on a 4+. That's amazing. Like, that's honestly incredible. If your opponent has psychers. If they don't, it's kind of useless. So the next one, Divine Guidance. Use this sacred rite. While this sacred rite is active, each time a model in this unit makes a ranged attack, an unmodified wound roll of a 6, the armor penetration characteristic of the attack is improved by 1. So if you hit with a Meltagun, you have AP -5. Good job. Heavy bolters wounding on 6s are going to have AP -2 to AP -3 depending. I think they're AP minus... You know, I actually forget what a heavy bolter is. Where are Retributors? Retributors. Retributors. Of course you don't have a weapon listed there. Why would you? That would be super useful, Games Workshop. Look, you have all of this room to use on this page to list all of their weapons and point cost. But you don't. Anyway, I'm not mad about that. I am mad about that. But I'm not going to say I'm mad about that. I just forget if heavy bolters are AP -1. Heavy bolters. Heavy bolters. Where are the good old heavy bolters? Heavy bolter, AP -1. So it goes to AP -2, which is pretty decent. A good chunk of armies do ignore AP -2, so it's going to kill like hordes pretty well. It's really good for bolters. Like if you spam bolters, like I tend to like to spam bolters. The Passion. When the Sacred Rite is active, each time a model in this unit makes a melee attack, an unmodified hit roll of a 6 scores 1 additional hit. This is probably the best one, in my opinion. This is the one that I kind of just always want. Like, if I'm running Bloody Rose, I want 1 in 5. Like, active. Those are the ones that I definitely want. And if I want to be, like, real, I think I'm going to take number 5 over number 1. Because there are things that let you reroll the charge. You can use Miracle Dice to guarantee the charge. But getting those additional hits, especially with a Sacristan squad, a freaking Paragon Warsuit charge, getting him on Mortifiers, getting them on freaking Xeraphim, getting them on, what is the other melee unit? Repentia. Like, you have a ton of different units that can benefit from this. In fact, most of the Codex can benefit from it. Even Battle Sisters can benefit from it. Because just getting this sheer number of attacks from a 15-woman squad going into something, you're looking at about 120 attacks. Yes. 90 attacks. My bad. Because at best, you can get them up to 90. All right. So, and then we have the last one. While the Sacred Rite is active, you can ignore any and all modifiers to the unit's leadership characteristic, which also includes your own deaths. And each time a combat attrition test is taken for this unit, you can always ignore any and all modifiers. So what's really cool is if you take an Inquisitor and have a Leadership 9 bubble, chances are you're never going to fail. And then we're going to get into the actual units themselves, but I'm going to do separate videos on this as well. So sorry for the short video, but we are doing a deep dive into this codex, so please forgive me as we dive deeper and deeper into this codex. I hope you enjoyed this content. Please tell me if you do in the comments down below. As always, I'm NornQueenAlexis. I love you guys. Bye.